second card pull of the day from my star codes Astro, and I pulled these because Mercury retrograde is closing out today, and I wanted to get a little bit more insight. Even though I already pulled this prior to Mercury retrograde, we're closing out the cycle, and I think it's important to gain the information so that you can reflect back on what Mercury retrograde was meant to do for you. States review. Retrograde gets a bad rap, especially Mercury retrograde, but the retrograde cycle is truly a helpful and necessary time. It's nothing to worry about, just something to work with. A planet is in retrograde when it appears to reverse the direction of its journey across the skies from our perspective here on Earth. As the planets revisit its paths, you get to review your life. Action. Stop the normal patterns of your life and take a break. The root of this issue are found in the past. Reconsider, revise, repair, and edit. Dig into a drawer to find an old idea to bring forth and rework it. Reconnect with old friends and previous contacts. Address some unfinished personal business. Look again and find lost items and missing information. A delay may be saving grace in the situation, so check equipment, read the fine print so that everyone is on the same page and it's safe to move forward. This is an opportunity for a do-over and don't need to get stuck in the past. If an old problem rears its head, rather than rescribing dysfunctional patterns, take a different approach. Before you re-engage in an old relationship, inventory your heart. Consider what needs to be different this time to make it work. Broach new territory together. If you feel called, put regular work aside and attend to side agenda. A soul important short-term project that urgently needs every bit of wisdom that you've garnered. Challenge. It's not a time for tempting through. It may be time to reminisce, pick up old scars, and revisit painful situations from your past just because you want the emotional charge of anger or excuse to wallow in the memories of betrayal and regrets. You've been there, done that, and you've got the t-shirt. You don't need to do it again. Gift. Take a deep breath. This moment out of the ordinary flows as an opportunity to use what you've worked so hard to learn. Use your accumulated skills, knowledge, and maturity. Slow, steady throughout will win the race. Well, all I can tell you is this. It's not easy going through 4 or 5 years of doing shadow work and improving yourself and looking at your dark side and figuring out what needs to be changed and how to improve your life. Those things are not easy. It's not for the faint at heart. But I can tell you this much, you start to really learn to like yourself. You start to really be happier in life. You start to realize why you're here and your self-worth of how God can start to utilize you to help others and help the planet. And I can tell you this much, before I started doing that shadow work, I didn't like myself very much. I didn't have that self-worth. And it was crazy because I had degrees, I had a prestigious job, I worked with prestigious people. I should have very much had that self-worth, but I didn't. It wasn't until I went to the dark side and looked at those demons and that paid back that karma that I started to lighten the load and start to really learn to love myself. Which is the most important thing of it all. So Mercury retrograde isn't always fun. And I'm not going to say it is. It's been difficult these last couple of months. But I can tell you this much. I understand why it occurred. I understand how it's helped me. And I really feel like I've tackled some of those problems that I was still having lingering around, which is the point of it. So embrace the challenging times, and that's how you should look at it, as a challenge and what you're meant to gain and learn from it, and allow it to do what it's meant to do and lighten your load so that your life feels easier and lighter afterwards. So I'm really excited about closing out the chapter today and what the rest of the year has to come, as well as 2025. There's a lot going on with all the drones. I have my ideas that everything that I've been hearing about for the last 4 or 5 years is coming to fruition. Our planet is ascending to the 5th dimensional state. If you don't know what that means, I have videos on 3D, 4D, 5D under my bio. Check it out. But I love you all, and I hope you have an amazing full moon in Gemini. Namaste.